Man, my volume's a little high in my ear. Good morning, Deacon. How are you this morning?
Hello.
Hey, and welcome everybody that's tuning in momentarily, or if you're watching this later, this is rumble.com/JJW. My name is JJ. I'm a dad. That's Deacon. He's a dad.
I
And
am.
every morning, Monday through Friday, except for not this Friday because we're occupied. Every morning, Monday through Friday, you can drop into rumble.com/JJW and drink some coffee and talk about news and politics and culture and tech and crazy clown world shit. Anything that makes us mad or happy or giggle or, whatever.
I
That's just what we're going
really,
to talk about.
I really hope you don't have any stories that are meant to. If you have any stories that are meant to piss Deacon off and get him on a rambling spree today, let's drop them until Monday, because I am already so pissed off at the world that I don't really want to get any. I've already gotten so mad this morning and calmed down that I don't want to get mad again.
I don't want you to get upset.
No, I don't either. I've already been ready to burn.
You know what? I'm going through these and I don't see anything. Yeah, I don't see anything here today that's bad news. Except for maybe this one that's kind of weird and gross.
I can deal with weird and gross.
All right. And I think today we just have a bunch of good news.
Good. I need that.
All kinds of great good news. I haven't now every day, as part of, just trying to do this show and try to be, a little entertaining and to be our host as we talk about the day's topics and subjects. I reach around the internet and I grab stories and I pile them all together. And on really good days, I will pull all those stories together and I will sew them together with a little kind of thread, and it makes it kind of like a story, right? I didn't do that today. No, we just got a bunch of weird stuff. And I'm gonna try to navigate.
Are you a news seamstress?
Yeah, like a news. Yeah,
or like a news seamstress.
Is there a more feminine word for it than that?
I don't think so. I think seamstress is the most feminine word that we can come up with for a person that sews.
Can we go more fashion-y?
A news seamsonista. Will that work? A fashionista,
maybe
seamster. That just sounds like you're in the union.
Like a news horse instead of a clothes horse.
A news horse? Yeah, that don't sound good.
No. That don't work.
Yeah, we can workshop this.
Yeah, look, it's in progress. Audience, you are actively part of figuring out what's wrong and then doing it better. And the way you do that is leaving a comment on the video. Hey, that didn't work. Don't do that again.
Yeah.
Good morning, Deacon. I hope you're having a good day. Deacon's on the wind up to his weekend portrayal of Jacob Marley and Scrooge and Gentleman Number 3. Did I get him wrong? I got him wrong.
You got the first one. I'm Charles Dickens. I'm Bob Cratchit. I'm Jacob Marley. I'm Gentleman Number 2, which it's not a big deal. It's some guy that has 2 lines. And that's it, I think. No, Ghost of Christmas Yet to Come. I've got to fix
that's Christmas Future.
Yeah, Christmas Future. So we have 2 plays Friday morning back to back for 2 elementary school classes. These kids, I guess there are several classes coming in because there's about 250 kids in each one. So 2 back-to-back shows, and then we have a show Friday night and then a show Saturday in the afternoon. And I still have yet to get my claws for my skeletal hands for the Ghost of Christmas Yet to Come. And I've got these skeletal fingers, these plastic, you put them on your hand and you put them on your finger and it kind of articulates a little bit.
Yeah.
But we're wanting to sew them on a pair of gloves so that I can put them on and take them off real quick, because I have to do a seam change between taking off that stuff and putting on Bob Cratchit stuff and then coming back and putting back on that stuff again. And it takes a minute to put on those hands. So that's the only thing left to do today and practice again. So I'm kind of freaking out a little bit and hoping that we get these.
What's up with the props department or costume department?
We've got one guy. He's the director, fashion. I mean, he does everything. It's just a little community theater. So
Yeah.
we're all kind of doing it ourselves.
All right.
It's fun though.
All right. Okay. Well, we're eagerly anticipating photos from one of your performances so that we can see you on stage. Ashley, if Ashley's hanging out,
She don't give a crap about anything I do. She's not here.
Oh man, I would be like, oh, that's not supportive of your spouse. My wife is never here. She has no idea. The other
The
day,
only
she
reason
left a
your wife
video.
steps in is because she's like in the other room right next door to you.
No,
So
yeah,
it's okay.
sometimes that, or I told you a couple days ago about I woke up from her stealing my pillow right from under my head. I was asleep and she just reached over. She was also asleep. She reached over and took my pillow and yanked it out from under my head. So I told that story a couple days ago, and and then and then I guess it was yesterday. I mentioned it. I was like, like the other day, and she was like, "Oh yeah," and I was like, "Yeah, that was a funny story I told on the show." And she said, "You told that story on the show?" I said, "Of course I told the story on the show. It's hilarious." And then and only then did she go back and listen to the show so she can make sure I didn't say something that
She didn't say
embarrassed her.
anything embarrass her. That's right.
Yeah, that is the only time that she
Oh,
watches the show.
me just standing up and walking around embarrasses Ashley, so I'm used to it by now.
Oh, I mean, I would think my wife would be. I mean, 17 years, you haven't figured out what you bought yet? Come on. Let's talk about news. Let's go with, well, first of all, today is December 8th, Deacon, and I bet you're super excited to find out what's in your adventure calendar.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah, you forgot. See, that's the thing. If I don't remind you, you might not remember.
Well,
So let's see.
since the last two things were discounts
Coupons?
on coupons, I really don't give two shits anymore. What was
Come on, D&D. Let's get a transracial like orc elf like I think. Oh, it's a coupon. It's a
it's a coupon for a Dungeons and Dragons t-shirt club.
You get a D&D
10%
t-shirt.
off the first box. You don't get 10%
Wow.
off the t-shirt. You get 10% off the first box. This advent calendar blows. You know, the only thing that's been of any good so far was the day 5.
Yeah.
Which I don't think they started on day 1. I think they started.
No, yeah. I agree with you. I think that they started on day 5 because if you go all the way to the bottom, it says like 20 days, or there was the title of the article says 20 days of gifts.
Yeah.
They're so lazy. They didn't even do all 24 days of an advent calendar.
But what I was going to say is number 5 is it's 11 monsters from this monstrous compendium that it's just 11 different monsters, which is beneficial to DMs and stuff like that at Dragonlance, this new book. But the funny thing is the new book with all the monsters came out like hours later or the next day. I think it came out the next day. It did. It came out yesterday. So that one was on Tuesday and that one came out yesterday. So I got the book already. So everything I got on Wednesday Tuesday was bullshit. I just got to see it a day early.
Yeah. So, it's like this whole thing was just a commercial and they're just trying to trick you into buying a book.
Yeah, you think? I will end up buying one of the new books that's come out because there is an alternate cover and it's got one of my favorite characters of all of literature on the cover. His helmet is on the cover. And so I saw it for a couple of months, but I saw somebody tweeted it yesterday. It's like, look at the copy that I got of this book. And I was like, oh my God, I need that so bad. So there's my D&D update. My kids are gone this weekend and I've got to play. So I will not be running kids in D&D this weekend, but I talked to the guy that plays Scrooge is also a big D&D nerd. And we're talking about getting a kids D&D group started to help kids get started in our area, like at the libraries and stuff like that. The hardest thing about is starting. I know that sounds stupid, but the hardest thing about starting D&D is actually starting. And if you can get somebody with some experience to show you how to actually get started, you're gold. You're gold.
So you know, D&D is always one of these things where I'm like, with all of my extra free time, I would love for Deacon or someone to show me how to play D&D. And like in my mind, I imagine like, oh, that'll be fun. But in reality, I know that I will be like at the table or wherever, and I'll be sitting and listening to the rules, and I'll be like, this is too much. I can't handle it. And I'm only going to try to make jokes, and I'm and I'm just going to screw everything up. I'm going to ruin everybody else's time because
Oh,
I know that's what I would do.
the making jokes is a part of it. It's the sitting around at the table and screwing off with your buddies is a big major part of it. But
Right.
there was a rule between us and our group that, I mean, it's kind of an unspoken D&D experienced rule, is you don't name any of your characters and your non-player characters any. If you're coming up with a name for your character and you think it sounds cool, you better come up with every fucking nickname that you can come up with and every stupid name that your buddies are going to come up with, because they're going to call you that name and you're going to hate your character name. We had a DM that had this big bad wizard, evil wizard, and this wizard's name was Lancaster, and he was supposed to be a pretty evil wizard, and we started calling him Burt Lancaster because of the old musician Burt Lancaster. Do you remember him?
Yeah.
And it pissed off our DM, and it just kind of made a happy ha 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 moment out of a moment that was supposed to be scary, you know. Hang on a second.
So I'm I don't know why I'm thinking you're saying Burt Lancaster, but for some reason I was thinking Burt Reynolds. It's like Burt Reynolds. That's not right. I don't know who Burt Lancaster is. Um, this one time I was going through one of these D&D books, and like and again, I really don't know what I'm talking about, but I know that on your character creation sheet you get like certain like, kind of like out of the box things, or you can mix it up, and everybody gets like to start with like a little bit of equipment or gold or something, and you have to pay for like a bag, and then you can have stuff to carry a bag in. And I was always like, well, this is kind of like, that's really inconvenient. And then I think I was looking at like a magic type character or
Okay.
wizard or something like that. And I was going through this character creation thing, and I was like, why would I have to pay for a bag if I can be a wizard and use this spell to make a dirt wagon? And there was like some sort of a thing where you could transport like a certain section of dirt and carry it with you. And I was like, oh,
You
I'll just put all my stuff in a dirt wagon and use magic to
And
float it
that
around.
is the beauty of this game. It's the fact that you as JJW can go, well, why don't I use this spell and do this and do
Yeah.
it this way? Because me never thought of it that way. But as a DM and you come up with something like that, and I'm like, that's pretty cool. Yeah, I'm going to let you do that because that's awesome. You know,
Yeah.
that's and I have that. A lot of DMs have that rule. It's an unspoken. It's called the rule of cool. So if you say, okay, my character wants to blah 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 blah, and the DM's like, man, that's pretty cool. I'll go with it. Usually, the rule of cool. If it sounds cool, then we'll let it happen.
Okay,
Think
man.
we
Well, I
do
want to
okay
acknowledge.
with D&D. The rules are pretty extensive, even with different characters, and it can get a little overwhelming. But that's what me and my buddy was talking about last night. Is as long as you have somebody there with some experience in D&D to kind of easily kind of lead you through it, it's not as bad. It's not really that bad at all. It's really fun.
Okay. Well, I,
It's
I I
nice.
remain ever open to the eventual possibility that you or someone will like host a game and I'll be in it. But I don't want to ruin a friendship over playing
Oh no, no,
playing
that's
and
not
failing
gonna.
to play D&D.
No, no, that we wouldn't let that happen. Maybe
Maybe
we can get
especially if my
you
kids get
and
older.
maybe we can get you and if there's like 2 or 3 other folks on the Discord server that maybe want to take like a couple of
Can you
hours out one night to play D&D, I can get it
can
set up
you
on a different website and we could play.
can you slow roll a game like everybody just like once a day? Everybody checks in and just do one thing on our server and just
Yeah,
slow roll a game because I've only
there's
got
a
minutes.
there's a I could make a little Discord thing and we could do it. 'Cause I'm a part of very many it's called play by post Discord servers, and you
Oh,
play by
really?
post. Yeah, me and Sleepy are a part of one right now, and I've been a part of several with
Oh,
Sleepy.
seriously?
Yeah, Sleepy's a big DM. He's really
Well,
good, really
tell
creative.
Sleepy I said hi. It's been a long time since I talked to him.
Yeah, I talk to him all the time. We're in a server with a bunch of other folks that names that you would know are in that
Yeah,
server too. Yeah.
yeah. Any of them have a hate on for me?
No, no.
Okay. Until Sleepy I
Maybe.
said
I
hi.
don't know. There's a lot of people that don't
Yeah,
like you.
yeah. There's a lot. There's so many people that don't like me. I'm like, what did I ever do to you? What did I ever do to you? All right, whatever. Okay, so Manuel, I acknowledge your thing. I see your Twitter post. The thing is, I can't identify who this person is with. So if you give me a little more context, and then I'll bring it up and talk about it. So he tweeted me.
On the
He sent me a
clown
Twitter thing.
post
No, no,
thing?
no. There's something else. He sent me a Twitter. He tagged me on a Twitter message or something, and I would love to talk about it but I'm not 100% who that is, so I don't recognize him. But today's episode, for everybody that is still here, we have some people watching. Today's episode is San Francisco cancels explosive murder robots. Oh
No.
no!
Who's
Oh, I
gonna
was
kill
so
all the
looking.
San Francisco residents now?
Yeah, who's gonna take care of the homeless poop and murder their own civilians with bombs? San Francisco cancels explosive murder robots. And let's see. I think that I have. We'll start with this story. We'll just start with it. So here it's on ABC News. ABC News is real news that you can trust. It's not fake at all or owned by Disney. San Francisco cancels plan for killer police robots. This news comes after groups protested outside San Francisco City Hall. Would you believe it? Would you believe that people would not be in favor of explosive bomb robots that were authorized to murder
Blows
to
my
kill
mind.
people?
What is wrong with these This is the first time in life that I'm ever like, yeah, this is you'll never hear me say this sentence again ever. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Hey, I agree with those people in San Francisco.
Which the protesters?
Yeah.
Honestly,
There.
if they
Literally said
thought
it
about it
again.
two more times, they could have established such a huge tourist industry by setting up some of these explosive robots and making sure that one looked like ED-209, and then people could have come in from across the country and be like, I can't believe you fucking idiots did this.
What about this? Okay, what about this? Have you ever seen that old 90s movie Surviving the Game where Ice-T, I believe, is a homeless man and those guys offer him a job as a scout in the woods, and basically they take him up to the woods and they hunt him, and he's
Oh
got
yeah.
of them hunting him. So, what if we charge people and it's kind of like a game? Can you get through the streets of San Francisco? And we have these murder bots out there, and you have to
Yeah.
get from like one side to the other. And if you do, then you win a certain amount of money. And we have drones that can follow and film. It could almost be
Right?
like a Running Man type
Ooh,
scenario.
that would be cool.
Yeah. And
You could
if
have
we could
you
have,
could
yeah, people out there dressed up to kill them like wrestlers from the 80s. That would be awesome.
Yes, that would be cool. There
Mm.
was that other robot in RoboCop 2 where like it was I think it was like sort of like a RoboCop. It wasn't an ED-209. It was sort of like a RoboCop, but they left its brain plugged in the wrong way, and so it went crazy and like flipped out.
I
You
don't
could have
remember
a bunch of
RoboCop
different
2.
kinds. Yeah, it's okay. The look, RoboCop 1 is the one that predicted our current reality.
Yeah, no.
There are so many movies from the 80s and later that are like, that's crazy. That could never happen. What a fun time. And now it's like, oh, that was a proto documentary.
I remember
Was,
driving through St. Louis years and years ago and seeing a moving billboard, a video billboard for the first time, and thinking, "Oh my God, this is the future." I remember seeing this on movies from the 80s, these moving billboards. And then the one in Times Square, when we were there, they had a really cool one, but that one in Times Square that goes around the building that's 3D. Have you seen some of the
yeah.
crap on it? Man, that's
Uh,
amazing.
I remember seeing some of those ads, but honestly, there was so much there that I can't really pick anything out in particular. But I have seen that one that wraps around that building, and you get
Yeah,
different kinds of ads on it
yeah, it's
before.
cool. All
So
right.
that movie, Surviving the Game, I mean, I do remember seeing that. there's been variations on that story over time, like different
Mhm.
kinds of movies that
Yeah,
were that
yeah,
movie, and
yeah.
all of them are based essentially on this book from 1924 called The Most Dangerous Game.
Mm.
And I remember reading, it was a short story. I remember reading that short story like when I was in like fourth grade or something.
Really, I'd like to
So
read that. What's it called
yeah,
again?
it's called The Most Dangerous Game. It's by Richard Connell. And Surviving the Game was based loosely on that. Basically, it's the concept of like, you have people that want to hunt the most dangerous prey, and the most dangerous prey is a human being
Yeah,
because
yeah,
we're
yeah.
in, so basically, so there will be different kinds of, and there was a movie about this a couple of years ago called, I think, The Hunt. It was The Hunt,
Mm,
and the twist on that one was that it was a bunch of people that were hunting like white people because white people are racist and terrible or something like that.
white people are the worst fucking plague
So
on
bad,
mankind. I
right?
hate white people. They can all die.
Okay. Well, we are. Anyway, we're talking about San Francisco over here. There's so the people of San Francisco have spoken loud and clear. There's no place for killer robots in our city. That is actually a sentence that was uttered on ABC News in a statement. Like, oh no, we really shouldn't have killer robots. No shit, you shouldn't have killer
We live
robots.
in clown world.
There have been more killings at the hands of police than any other year on record nationwide. Well, maybe stop looting places, committing crimes, attacking cops, trying to burn things down, trying to murder people. Maybe stop trying to do that stuff. But that doesn't really have anything to do with police robots. We should be working on ways to decrease the use of force by law enforcement and not giving them new tools to kill people. It kind of reminds me, I think California is going to close prisons. So, do you know what you do with prisoners when you close prisons?
What?
Let them go, I guess.
What do
I
you do
think
with them?
that's what they're going to do.
I'm asking you. What do you do with them?
I'm pretty sure they're just going to let some of them go. So here we have Dean Preston on ABC News calling for a decrease in the use of force by law enforcement, and we've already seen that George Soros and his organizations or whatever promote DAs that do not prosecute, crimes that are like, oh, they're little crimes like robbery, burglary, and other things like that. So essentially, I think California is going to descend into like a complete, not police state so much as a total criminal state, where you can just go commit crimes and there's nowhere for them to even put you because they're gonna close prisons. So back to this. So here they have a protest, and look, they even have this. We all saw that movie. Let me see. Let me zoom in on this? There's this photo. We all saw that movie, No Killer Robots. So this is an
Was it Tom
actual
Selleck in that
demonstration.
movie?
Oh my God, that's the worst version of that.
What was that movie called? It had the little killer robot
What
spiders.
was it? It was
Remember?
yeah. That was such a boring movie too. Except for
Oh,
the
it was
one
a
scene
boring
where like
movie.
the spider jumps on somebody's face, I think it
Yeah.
was.
Yeah. What was that
And
movie
and
called? Oh my
and
god.
the big action scene, I think, well, there's a big action scene that takes place like in his house. And Tom Selleck's character in the house, I think he has like a butler robot that like makes him
Yeah.
coffee or eggs or something like that. So it's like it's in a future where robots are everywhere. I mean, I got two robots in my house. One of them vacuums my floor up here, and the other one bounces around and hits the walls downstairs because it's gone stupid. So I definitely think I should put some guns on that thing. Jeremy, do you know what that movie was called with Tom Selleck? We'll see if he posts it. Let's see what else is going up on here. The guys are talking about D&D and BattleTech, and those murder bots are all over Texas. Are still all over Texas. What murder bots are all over Texas? And David says it ate drugs. I'm not sure what he's talking about. Okay, guys. Sorry. Let me check Rumble. Oh, hey, David. Brian Perkins said he'd give Discord Dungeons and Dragons in Discord. He'd give that a shot. So maybe we'll set that up. Okay, so good job, San Francisco, for not doing a totally insane policy of arming robots. Although, if you did arm a robot, there is a surefire way to beat it.
How's that?
You just go downstairs.
Walk downstairs.
Yeah, you can defeat a killer robot by walking downstairs. And the funniest thing, this is actually an AI smoothed version, because the original RoboCop movie had it was all like chunky because it was like, well, I don't think it's bad. I just it was like because it was hand animated.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, you could tell when he comes through the door.
I think it just falls down. The best thing about this scene is that this robot is now essentially disabled, and RoboCop's just like, "Fuck this, I'm out."
Yeah, and it
just takes off.
That's what I love.
I'm leaving. I'm out of here. I'm not fighting this thing. RoboCop's
dead or alive, you are coming with me.
Whoa, I'm out. All right, let's see. What else is super interesting? Deacon, I need you to prepare yourself emotionally to be supportive. There are people in this world that are so important to our country, and they are today, because today is December 8th. They are going to be really dealing with some difficult emotional stuff, but they're trying to take a stand for, I guess, their paychecks or benefits or something like that. So brace yourself, sir. The New York Times journalists are going on a 24-hour strike after their contract negotiations failed. Yeah, the union says they're going on strike. Yeah, the New York Times.
This is bad.
I guess you're just going to have to not read the New York Times.
What are you talking about? Did you just hear what you just said? You're going to have to not read the New York Times. That's like, what are you going to have to not breathe air, JJ? Good God.
Without the New York Times, I mean, it is the paper of record. It doesn't necessarily record everything that happens. Like, for instance, they didn't really record that the Twitter files dropped and the FBI has been exposed as infiltrating our social media networks to electioneer, things like that. They don't necessarily report everything.
Look, I love these stories. We should have something like this on our show. I used to have this a long time ago when everything wasn't politically correct on radio morning show. Don't click on anything.
Yeah.
On a radio morning shows, when things didn't have to be politically correct all the time, I used to have a thing called the Darwin Awards. And every once in a while, we would have a news story that we would call the Darwin Awards, thinning the herd. All right. So this is the thinning the herd news story. And that top one over there on the right is a Darwin thinning the herd.
Yeah.
That is just
She's like
genius right there. Let me tattoo my
I'm on tattoo. That doesn't even look like the same woman. Look on the left. She's got face tattoos, and tattooed eyeballs. And this is a different person. She got no face tattoos at all.
And she's going.
They're gone. Yeah. And she's going blind. I mean, surprise, sticking needles and ink in your face, in your eyeball.
It's gonna make you go blind.
Not advised medically.
Who would have known?
Yeah. Hey, good morning. Welcome to the show at RC Hobby Live 420. Good morning. Thank you for showing up. We are so glad you're here. We broadcast every single day, Monday through Friday, except not tomorrow, but every other single day, Monday through Friday. And you are welcome to join Deacon and myself as we be two dads on the internet and read news and make yucks. Yuck. Okay, so my heart beats sympathetically for these poor New York Times journalists.
Me too. I hope that they're able to buy Christmas gifts and it.
Yeah. If they don't get what they want after 24 hours, I'm standing with them. They should keep striking. They should strike until they get everything.
I agree.
Indefinite
stop.
Striking.
I would not do anything with the paper or website or anything. Right. I would punish everybody and make them yearn and want the New York Times so bad. Oh yeah.
They should. You know what? They should even they should not even post on Twitter. Don't even
Yeah,
give New York Times any free
that's
media. If you
right.
post on Twitter, that's working for
It's
free. Don't
working
even
for
do that.
free. When you say New York Times, that's right. JJ,
Don't
you're
do that.
genius. This is genius. They shouldn't do anything with the New York
So
Times.
that's. I mean, so I stand in solidarity with these blue-haired weirdos. Okay. Let's see. What else is going on? We got some other Clown World stuff. Oh, we got so much Clown World stuff. So check this out. I saw this yesterday, and Deacon, and I was like, okay, wow, that's pretty. I don't know. We'll just see what you think here.
Huh?
This appears to be a. It looks like a cell phone shop here, and this was on
Okay.
December 4th. So this was like, I don't know, 4 days ago. So here we have. It looks like a fellow looking at a potential purchase of a cell phone. Maybe it's an iPhone or a fake iPhone. Here we go. Oh, I hope I don't have the sound on.
You do have the
There we
sound
go.
on.
Yeah, I turned it off. Oh, he yanked it. He tried to take off. Oh, he couldn't get out the door. The guy says, "Give me that phone back." What are you doing, dum dum? And then he's like, "Oh, I'm trying to leave." The guy outside made me do it. Uh, and so this criminal is now getting a lecture. He's getting a lecture. They wouldn't let him leave, and they're like, "We should be calling the
Look,
cops.
the
What are you
one
doing?"
the one dude's still sitting there on his phone scrolling through whatever, and he's like, "What is this
This
dumbass
guy
doing?"
right here.
Yeah.
This guy right here is like, I can't believe this dummy just tried to rob us. so,
That's
so if you
great.
look right there at the top of the door,
Yeah,
what they
it's
have
magnet.
there is a mag lock.
Yeah.
And if you've ever encountered a magnet lock, those things work.
If you have never encountered a true magnet and the only magnets you've ever played with are the little bitty ones that goes on refrigerators, you don't know what a true magnet does.
Yeah,
Jesus.
those things. So
Dad
a little bit of electricity and so much power.
Dad used to have a big one, all right, that he kept out in the shop. And he had this when he had his heart stuff, and he had his heart stuff put in a decade ago or more. I don't know, a long time ago. I went into his house one night, and he was sitting there, and he's like, "I'm supposed to be doing exercises for my heart," because he had this stuff put in, whatnot. And I was like, "What are you lifting there?" He's like, "Oh, I got a big old piece of this magnet." And I was like, "Dad, you've got your heart, and you're lifting a freaking giant magnet up here close to your chest." And he goes, "Oh, hell, I didn't think about that." I mean, he had
Yeah,
the
no
stuff that
kidding.
would make when he would go into Walmart, he would set off the things.
So did he have like a defibrillator
I don't
installed
remember
or
what
just
it
like a
was, but it was
pacemaker
something
thing?
that it pissed him off. He
Man.
stopped going to Walmart because it would make the things go off every time he would walk in. He's like, it's in my chest. So yeah, magnets are pretty cool.
Oh,
That will definitely keep that
uh,
door from
David said the guy on the video was
okay,
on our
sleep.
FUNSLINGERS server. That's what he was doing over there.
That's what he was doing.
So RC Hobby says, good to know, cool channel. What you guys think about AI? Just got heavy into it last night. Dude, AI stuff, I have alternating opinions. AI art can be fun and funny, but you just sometimes have to like throw different things at it a bunch of times until sometimes you get something out. But there's a DALL-E. So OpenAI has a DALL-E 2 art generator, and you can throw phrases at it and it'll make something. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's not. And then Chat GPT is the OpenAI language-based processing. So Deacon, you may think this is funny. I don't know if you've looked at the Chat GPT thing, but you can go. I've posted some examples over in.
I've seen the stuff that you've posted.
Yeah, so a couple days ago, I was having the Chat GPT AI generate Christmas movie scripts. I was like,
Yeah.
write me a Christmas heist movie and cast it, and it would drop out like a whole synopsis and a cast and everything. And I was like, I don't like those actors. Give me some other ones, and it would actually adjust it. So that was pretty fun. But that's just me using it to amuse myself. In reality, from starting like right now and going into the future, your kids and maybe my kids and a bunch of kids out there will no longer learn how to write. They will no longer learn how to write essays or anything. They will get an assignment at school and they will go over to Chat GPT website and say, give me an essay about, pirates or something. And it will spit out a totally unique essay that you can't use that software that, basically checks and see if
Okay,
you're cheating.
so I mean that's a way to cheat and plagiarize, but the kids still don't know it. I mean they still won't know it.
when have kids ever cared about whether they knew it or not? They only cared if they got the assignment done, and
I
then,
mean, I did.
or if they even care that much. Well,
Certain
yes,
subjects, you don't
yeah,
give a shit
yeah.
about.
There's a segment of the population that cares about their education, and there's a segment of the population that is lazy and will always be that way and will take the easiest route out. And so people are going to cheat. Kids cheat on math tests, and now kids are going to be able to cheat on book
Is the
reports and
AI
essays and
that good?
assignments and
I mean,
everything.
I understand that it will always
It's
get
pretty good.
better, but
Yeah.
is it pretty is the script that good that it's not completely stupid? I mean, you'd probably have to go through and edit it line by line, wouldn't you?
You might have to. You might have. I mean, you might have to refine it a little bit, but you're going to get your sophisticated cheaters. Your sophisticated cheaters are going to be like, oh, okay. So I'll just go in and make some adjustments. But it spit. I mean, it takes it no time at all. It spits out an entire thing. And now, if you go in and say, hey, how tell me, chat AI robot, how do I break into a building? It's going to say, that's not ethically, it's not ethically sound for me to give you a plan to break into a building. That's not right. But if you go in and say, hey, chat AI, I'm writing a story or a play about a guy that's a second story burglar and he never gets caught. He's so good. How would he break into a building? It'll give you the entire instructions. So I'm not sure. I'm not sure what that means. I mean, I think AI is kind of stupid, but it does some things like really well.
AI, I
So I don't
wouldn't
know.
say is kind of AI is kind of stupid in a sense. I wouldn't use that word kind of stupid. I would say AI is childlike. All right. AI still has a childlike. I don't know the proper
It
word to use
it
here because you
it
don't want
doesn't
to say
have
intelligence. You don't want to say, but it's in that childlike phase. All right, because
right.
in 100 years, it's not
Sentient
going to
yet.
be a child anymore. It's going
Right.
to so we're right now. It's in the childlike. So when you ask it to type out a script, it's going to do crap like that, and you're going to be like, change this. But you're
Well,
right. I mean, about what you say in the future, the kids are just going to be like, type me a,
I mean,
and
yeah,
that's what it's going to be.
like immediately. I mean, that's immediately what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Some kids, and it's like, oh, why are you telling kids to do that? I'm not telling kids to do that. I'm kids.
We
Do your
are
fucking homework and
already
get
the
smart.
granddads when I go up to my kids. Listen to what I sound like when I say this. You're going to be able to cope with it, but try to put yourself in your children's shoes listening to me say this. When I was a kid, JJ, we went into the library and there was a big, like, contraption where you pulled out these drawers and you went through card by card to find your book. And the book was labeled by this number, and then you had to go find the number. And all these magazines and
Oh my god,
newspapers
Dewey Decimal System you talking
were
about?
on these little bitty cards called
Yes.
microfiche, and you had to take it to a machine, and it was
Oh yeah, I
essentially a
did that.
huge magnifier that would magnify that. Don't that sound like I'm talking about the 1800s? I'm talking about
Right. Yeah. Absolutely.
1990.
Yeah. Yeah. It used to be you go into the library and there'd be
1994.
like 4, 6, 8 of these microfiche readers,
Yeah,
and you wanted to go like check out old documents. You'd get this like flimsy slide
it
thing,
was
and you
like
put it
this
in, and
big.
then
Yeah, it was so
I mean,
flimsy.
yeah.
It had everything
So
on it. You
yeah,
had to scroll
kids,
through. Sometimes you can see it in
kids these
movies when they're
days are spoiled.
scrolling through in movies, and they're scrolling through the old newspapers. They're using microfiche. We have the
So
card
it
catalog and the Dewey Decimal System. I mean, come on. Don't that sound like 1800s crap? I was using that in 1990s.
So Jeremy is saying, sorry, Jeremy, AI is not truly intelligent. It's not the threat we see in films about and read about in books. AGI is that threat, artificial general intelligence. I don't know what the difference is. AGI has actual memories and the ability to reason. I will say that my experience interacting with the most sophisticated chatbots that I've had is that given enough prompts or whatever, I can get it to say one kind of things, and then I can ask it some questions and it will say the complete opposite kinds of things. So it doesn't exactly have reasoning. It just assembles a bunch of information that it has, and it's not really intelligent as much as it is a map of possible, from prompts to possible kind of outcomes and things like that. But I'm not the most into it of AI, but I would say probably a little bit more than your average person that has no interest at all. So I'm not sure if AI is our future doom or if it's a useful tool.
Both.
but yeah, maybe both. But I definitely 100% believe that kids are going to use it to cheat. 100%. And if you don't think that's true, you're not paying attention at all. And if you think that those kids don't grow up and become people that try to cheat in elections and everything else in life, they are. They do. People are going to cheat if they can. Okay, let's keep going. We got more Clown World stuff. I want to tell you about this, Deacon, or maybe I'll ask you about this. Maybe because sometimes I bring a story and I'm like, hey, I know about this. Let's talk about this. And sometimes I'm like, whoa, I don't understand. Maybe Deacon knows about this.
Okay.
So Deacon, maybe this is something that you know about.
Yeah.
Here we have on.
I was like, what is this?
Here is Clown World reposted this, but this was actually a post by Pup Ravage, so whoever this is. Well, after nearly 3 decades in uniform, this old army dog is finally done. As of today, he's Colonel Ravage, U.S. Army, retired. It's been a great run. This is an actual United States decorated
Shouldn't you be able to figure out who it is? Let's
take a dive down into
I know.
the reactions are. If you go into this guy's Twitter, which don't do this.
No,
if you go into this guy's Twitter, you're gonna see other pictures like this that are like, oh, that's like some sort of a kink thing. Like, what are you doing, man? Like, what is wrong with your brain? And this guy, what was he in charge of? Was he in charge of transportation, logistics? Was he in charge of I don't know, battalions of howitzers
right there?
Oh yeah,
it's an airborne.
Yeah, you have an airborne. So airborne Rangers.
Here.
Yeah, decorated colonel.
Yeah.
United States military, greatest force on earth, right?
Kinkiest force on earth, Daddy.
Oh my gosh!
Can we call him Daddy Colonel?
I can't even believe it. I just no way. Gross. People. Sometimes there's people you encounter in life where sometimes you're like, you should meet people and you should be like, oh, I see you're having a rough time and I'm sympathetic and I'd like to help you. Or sometimes it's, I see you're doing a good cause and, I'm sympathetic and I want to help you. And sometimes you run into people in life and you're like, oh, I see that you're making all the worst choices in your life and you need to stop before Jesus descends from heaven and says, you're out.
Noah's building a boat somewhere. I just know it.
Okay. I mean, dude, right after you put that dog mask on and zip it up, maybe just stop and look in the mirror and do a reality check about your life and the choices you're making in your life.
Just think about your life real quick while wearing the dog mask. And then if you're still okay with it, then that's cool. Go ahead and pee on a lamppost or whatever you do with the dog mask.
Now he's a colonel, so he's probably like
I don't want to know. I don't want to know what they do in the dog mask.
Maybe put that dog mask on and then call your mom. Maybe do that. Call your mom and ask her, hey, Mom, should I be doing this? All right.
Oh, my God.
You know what I mean? Okay, let's see. We're out of that one. Okay, hey, we talked yesterday about Avatar. And I showed you my...
Jeremy's saying, and he says...
Oh, Jeremy's challenging him. All right. I mean, now we have to go check out Pup Ravage on Twitter. We're going to see if he's legit.
No, keep going. I don't want to see this guy.
Oh, my God. Oh,
you may see.
Oh, I made a mistake. I made a mistake. Don't go.
I know what I'm talking about sometimes. Don't go to that man's Twitter page. I've never been there.
No, I made a mistake.
You did.
Don't do it.
Let me guess. Let me guess. I've never been to his Twitter page, but I just have one question. It's not even a question.
God.
Blink. You don't even have to answer. Don't answer if I'm correct. I bet he's got his pronouns up.
No, that's not pronouns.
Oh.
I don't know. What do you call it whenever it's like a T-shirt made out of leather or straps and stuff? What's that thing called? Yeah.
A T-shirt, man.
Oh, no. I don't know. Yeah, oh, boy. It's not a T-shirt. It was... I'm not into it. Whatever that is, I'm not in. I'm out. I'm checking out. Do your dog mask thing, weirdo. Whatever.
Hang on, follow. Okay, moving on to the next story.
All right. Whoa. All right. So we've been talking about the highly anticipated low T Avatar movie that's coming out, and I found out this yesterday, which actually I'm like, oh, cool. Stephen Lang, you remember Stephen Lang from the first movie?
Yep. Everybody wanted to play Cable.
Yes, and I'm going to zoom in because he's so awesome. I just want to get a little. Come on, get in. There we go. Look at that, Stephen Lang. This dude, back when they made this movie, he was already like 50 something, and he was jacked. So
and they're bringing him
I'm
back
excited to see what
after being killed, and they're bringing him back just because he's Stephen Lang, and they want to put him back in because James Cameron is a hack.
Well, I don't know about being a hack. He's a film genius, and he never fails.
Jesus Christ!
Never bet against James Cameron.
And Tom Cruise is a great actor too, right? Right? You're gonna keep feeding it to me.
I mean, what was it? Top Gun 2 was pretty good.
A Tom Cruise and a James Cameron film would be my ultimate hell. That's what the devil would play for me on repeat for eternity. Is a Tom Cruise James
on this imaginary movie? Can we get Michael Bay to do B-roll of the vehicles?
Yeah.
Get James Cameron, we get Michael Bay involved.
Michael Bay explosions in the background.
Yes, let's do it. I'll go over to Chat GPT and I'll give him to give me a script. For this movie.
Yeah, a script. You want a James Cameron script starring Tom Cruise, and you don't care what else is in it.
Yeah,
and that's my.
I want it to be. I want it to be like a heist movie with like clones, so you have as many Tom Cruises as possible.
Yeah.
Okay. Stephen Lang explains how Colonel Miles Quaritch returns in Avatar: The Way of Water after being killed by Neytiri in the first film. Oh my god. So it looks like there. I guess this is in the first movie, right? This looks like it's from the first movie because that's Sam Worthington's, Jake Sully, and then Colonel Lang's Colonel Miles Quaritch. But it looks like wow, he looks a lot older in this picture. This looks like the new, still from maybe the new movie. So there's this image here. I think this is Quaritch's Stephen Lang character. So it looks like he died, but they uploaded his consciousness or something into one of these blue cat person bodies they have. So we're gonna get Stephen Lang, but it's not gonna be Stephen Lang. It's gonna be like a Stephen Lang computer blue cat dude, who I guess is maybe the nemesis that is going after. And I think this is going to be Stephen Lang's Quaritch. What are these things called, Jeremy? What are these blue cat people called? Deacon's so uninterested. He's like, whatever, don't care about blue people. But I think this is like a Stephen Lang Avatar person.
You're right about the interesting, but I had my phone started bonking out there. Maggie's here and started bonking, and it's Ashley and Alex can't find his belt, and they're wondering if so. There's a minor. So
Takaya
Gesundheit.
Yeah, I guess that's what these people are called. Whatever. Avatar. James Cameron. Let me just say, sir, I love Terminator. I love Aliens. I love some of your movies. I don't love Titanic. I don't care about Avatar. And I don't know why you spent $1 billion making cat people. It doesn't make sense.
Okay. I actually really love stuff like this. This new race, the lore,
sure,
the backgrounds, the lore of the land, having to create stuff like that, for somebody that's wanting to make a fantasy movie or a book or something like that. That's what I've done for like 30 plus years in this game, D&D, is create in my mind and on paper stuff like this. So I would love stuff like this, with this Avatar and whatnot, with this new world and new races and stuff like that. But to me, there's too fucking much, dude. There's too much
I just have to
stuff that
say,
I have to learn anymore. And I don't
yeah,
wanna learn a whole new world and lore and race because I've got so much of my brain is allocated to Dungeons and Dragons, Lord of the Rings, Star Wars. I don't have much
right,
left for a whole nother society.
for sure. I have to point this out because now I see
It
it. I can't
looks
unsee it.
cool. I
Yeah,
mean, it looks
sure. I mean,
cool. It looks like the
Deacon,
cat race
check
in
out,
D&D.
check out, check out the nose. Look real close at the nose.
Mhm. Yeah, and
You
yeah,
see it?
yeah, yeah,
It looks like a giant penis
yeah, it does.
on his
But
face.
I
It looks like a giant penis on his face, and you can't not see the penis once you see it.
I see this cat race. You know, they look more like cat people than they do to anything else to me. You know, it's like they took
Yeah,
this cat race and he's like, "I'm just gonna redesign the face just a little bit, narrow it up and make the nose come out a little bit more," but
I feel like this was a mistake right here. This part.
I don't know, man. That's a really crazy looking.
Looks like a
If yours looks
giant.
like that, you may need to go talk to a doctor.
Oh, okay. I think it looks like a penis. Hey,
You may
leave
need
us
to
a
talk.
comment in the chat below, guys, and let us know. Do you think is this cat person's face that has like a giant penis on it? Is this what you want your kids to see at the theaters? Now, I think this movie comes out in a couple weeks. I bet you're super excited to
Maybe
check it
that's
out.
his nickname. Maybe that's one of the main characters, Dong Face. You know,
Dong,
maybe that's one. We don't know. You have to
Colonel
see
Quaritch Dong Face.
it. That would be his
And
nickname.
in his scene, he's like, "Okay, I'm amped up as I'm a Kalaga Balada, whatever cat person, but I'm ready to go get these guys. I may be in this blue cat body, but I'm gonna go get them." And his entire team is like, "Yeah, although you can't really look at your face, sir, because every time we look at your face, we just see a giant penis."
Well, you know, they mated by putting those little tendril things together, but when he got on the horse, he also like put his tendril thing in the horse's tendril things in order to communicate to ride with the horse creature. So I don't know what we're getting at there. I mean, I don't know much lore about
I
these
don't know,
things.
dude. Navi. I thought they
Navi,
they
that's
speak Navi, but they call themselves the Amatakaya. Okay,
which means
whatever. I thought they were called the Navi. I
oh,
thought they were called Navi.
maybe
All
that's
right.
what the
Here's the last
stupid
thing
white
today.
oppressors called them in the first movie, JJ.
For real. White people. White people are awful, even in
Even
space.
in space, white people are terrible.
The worst. Okay. I really want to. I'm not. You know what? Stay tuned after the closing credits, and I'll bring up Manuel. Manuel, I'll bring up the picture, and so maybe you can tell me who that is. But okay, here's the last story over on timcast.com. Now I cannot go deep into this because we just don't have the time. So I highly recommend everybody go over to timcast.com and check out this article if you are remotely interested in the crazy, crazy shit that Kanye West has been doing for the last
Oh
couple
Lord.
weeks. So, so it started off, I think, last Monday, a week ago Monday, that Kanye West, chaperoned by Nick Fuentes and Milo Yiannopoulos, went on to Timcast on Monday, 10 days ago, and we're going to do an interview. But then 20 minutes into the interview, Kanye West just stands up and leaves. Doesn't explain himself, just takes off, hauls out. And then, basically Tim Pool is left kind of holding the bag of like, okay, well, I guess we're just going to do the show. And then we went on to talk about it for several days. It seemed like Kanye did sort of a stunt. He was prepared to just stand up and walk out early. Following that, Kanye went on to the InfoWars program with Alex Jones. That was like 4 hours of craziness where he said all kinds of lunatic, crazy things, and Alex Jones just let him run with the mic.
Because who
Now,
else was
Alex
just going to
Jones,
let him run with the mic?
I
You
mean,
don't
like,
think
why
all
wouldn't
this
you
was
do that
set
if you're
up?
doing if you're doing a show and Kanye West is going to come in and say crazy stuff? You're going to be like, well, listen, say whatever you want, free speech, because it's absolutely going to be like the most watched interview ever,
Absolutely,
probably.
yes.
And then now, a few times during the show, Alex Jones, who has a reputation as being, rather a provocateur, rather a person who will say extreme things to make a point or whatever, a person who has a certain kind of reputation, Alex Jones even was like, you could tell during the interview, if you were there, if you watched the interview while it was happening, you could tell Alex Jones was getting uncomfortable with some of the things that Kanye and Nick Fuentes were saying, and even tried to lob some softballs to reel Kanye in a little bit. And every time he said he tried to kind of like reel him in a little bit, Kanye went the other way. Kanye doubled down, tripled down, quadrupled down. So, and then following that, he did an interview with like Gavin. I forget Gavin's last name, but he's another kind of right side provocateur entertainer. So Kanye seems to be on this tour that is damaging his own credibility and reputation. Now, my take on things is that Kanye's doing a performance, and he's doing a performance for probably multiple different reasons. But one of the things he's doing is pushing. He's saying things that you can't say publicly, and he's saying them, and he's pushing the envelope of acceptability beyond the bounds to the point where he's getting canceled, or basically his fans are turning on him online or whatever. This article, this Gonzo journalism article is by Shane Cashman, who was present at the Timcast interview. So he spoke to Kanye before the interview, and he spoke to him after the interview before Kanye left the grounds, and impressed Kanye to the point where Kanye invited him out to LA, and he got a one-on-one sit-down interview for a couple of days with Kanye West. And through this article, you get kind of a glimpse into what's really going on with Kanye, because he's not. I reject the notion that he's lost his mind and he's crazy. I accept that he's saying things that people don't like to hear, and may or may not be avoiding saying them in a way that you can digest and understand. So he's saying things like, "I love Hitler," but that's in the context of "I love everybody," and the Jews should forgive Hitler, and and we need to unify and come together. So that's kind of like the greater context of the message that he's saying, but he's saying it in the most provocative way. And he's generating a certain kind of energy.
So you're basically saying Kanye West is saying the same thing that Bob Ross has taught us and Mr. Rogers has taught us.
Love your neighbor.
Love everyone.
Yeah. I mean, that is the message he was saying, but he was saying it in the most provocative way.
That's funny.
That's my take on it. But I mean, not everybody would agree with that. Okay. But what I'm saying is, I think, at least in this present moment, I think if you are out there and you're writing off Kanye because he said, "Oh, I love Hitler," and you're just writing him off, I think you're making a mistake, because I think he's doing something, and it's fascinating. And if you read this article, I highly encourage everybody. It probably takes you 20 minutes to get through it. Read this article. This is part one. There's going to be another part that posts. Yeah.
I forgot one person there when I was naming. Kanye is telling you to do the same thing that Bob Ross and Mr. Rogers, and I forgot one person that tells you to love everyone. Who's the one person that tells you to love everyone?
Oh, Jesus. Faux show. Gavin. So Jeremy says Gavin McInnes. Yes, Gavin McInnes. Sorry, I couldn't remember his last name. And Gavin McInnes is a provocative person. He says things that are offensive superficially, and that's the thing. Everything that Kanye is saying is only offensive superficially. If you dig deep, it's not as offensive to me.
But anyway. Look at this. Look, Jeremy, there is no case for President Ye. He's either a fool or a troll. He's no contender. You just said in that second sentence why there is a case for him being president, because the president is what, JJ? What is one thing that we have learned by listening to Deacon about the president of the United States that he believes about the president?
He's a puppet.
He's a marionette. He's a distraction.
Yeah.
And Kanye has become a bigger distraction than the best distraction we've ever had, Donald Trump.
Right. I see. I hear you. I hear what you're saying. So here's the thing. I think that I'm not arguing that there's a case that Kanye West can actually be president. I, and yes, he's campaigning for president. He's running for president. But the stated objective may not be the objective, right? If he, it, I, I'm not sure that he can get enough support. What Kanye is trying to do, I think, is not uh, rise to the top and dominate the system. I think Kanye is trying in some way to dismantle the system. So, and I think that's his play, like his. I think that's his mission is to like break something that is broken, but we live in this kind of repetitive system where nobody's happy. We're totally divided. The country's almost at war right now. Okay. Well, I mean, actually, we are at war
with
right
each
now,
other.
but we're almost at a civil war right now to the point where like one side will not even engage with the other. And I mean, I'm saying the left will not dialogue, will not talk, will not concede, will not.
But they tell all
They
their
won't.
they tell
They
all
won't.
their people that the right will not talk. They everybody's on the right is saying one thing, and everybody on the left is saying the exact same thing to their people. I see it. I
Yeah.
see it in these left places that I go and read. Reddit is full of
Oh.
left. All you gotta do is just go to Reddit and you can see what they talk about. Cool. We
Oh
have a
yeah.
cool bot.
XY
Yeah.
XYZ. Definitely find your love in the city for sure. 100%. Oh, I'm sorry. I blocked you. My bad. My bad.
Those come through on
So
YouTube, I think.
yeah, YouTube. That's why you should be watching on rumble.com/JJW.
That's right.
That's where you should be at. All right. So look, I'm not saying you guys back Yay. I'm saying don't write Yay off. Something else is happening. Something fascinating is happening, and we should be watching because like there is something
Okay.
very interesting happening here. But it's not. It's not President Yay. It's not that. It's something else, and I'm not sure what yet.
You think?
But I think.
Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
Well, I think that it seems like major media is writing him off and ostracizing him, right? I would bet money right now that he can come all the way through this and rebound. I would definitely bet that. All right, I guess that's all we got this morning.
I think that we're watching a dancing girl spinning around in scantily clad clothing while the actual magician is actually doing shit in the background, and somebody is fixing to come out and go, and we're all going to go, oh, how did they do that? Because we wasn't paying attention to the magic magician in the background. We're watching Kanye spinning around in his scantily clad clothing out here. You see what I'm saying? That's what I
hear you.
I think the whole world is watching this right now, and we're not paying.
There's no way that Kanye West is a stooge for the establishment. That's not what's happening.
I'm not saying that he's a stooge for the establishment, but I am saying that I'm smart enough to realize that if there is a stooge out there getting all the fucking attention, I probably need to go ahead and go do my thing right now while not as many people are watching me because they're all watching this fucking idiot over here. So right now I'm going to try to get some.
So I mean, we're seeing right now that the FBI and the CIA and all of those guys, they're the traditional shadow operators. They're fucking bungling stuff. They're morons. They're trying to the shadow operators are being kind of exposed right now a little bit, and people are trusting less. Their grip on control, consolidated media, poof, gone. Internet. Social media entrenchment exposed. Like the shadow operators are losing control.
Look, this comment here, this one that Sinister says, what you're saying reminds me of Joaquin Phoenix a few years back, and then the next comment after he won the Oscar and then the famous Letterman interview. Do you know what that was?
Oh, he was doing a movie. He was doing
a movie with Casey Affleck.
And that was a promotional performance. And
that was part of that was part of the movie.
Oh, I didn't remember watching the movie.
So him and Casey Affleck came up with this idea of what if we did a script where a very famous actor who's on the top of the world, like Joaquin was at the time. What if he decides to completely quit acting and become a gangster rapper? How would the media and the world accept him and do that? So they decided to do it real and film it. And Joaquin did such a I remember watching that freaking interview with David Letterman. David Letterman didn't know
I remember that.
Didn't know how to react.
He had no idea. He was not in on the joke.
David Letterman is a professional of the professionals. He's the professional of the professional when it comes to interviewing people, because I'm an interviewer. And he didn't know how to act, man. It was great. It was great. I loved that. It's called I'll Be Me. You can find it streaming and stuff. If you ever want to watch that documentary movie, whatever it was, whatever you call it, it's great. I remember
watching the Letterman interview.
No, it's not called I'll Be Me. That's the Glenn Campbell one. There, whatever it is, look up the Joaquin Phoenix. He's got the crazy hair and the sunglasses.
Yeah, go to IMDb and find his movie.
It's great.
I can't spell Joaquin Phoenix. Look up the movie Joker, click on Joaquin Phoenix, go through his film catalog, and go find that movie. But also just go to YouTube and find that Joaquin interview with Letterman, because that was because in that moment it was like Letterman was like, "Are you serious about this?" And I mean, like he was like in character 100%. But that's the closest analog to what I can see for what I think Kanye is doing right now. Is I think Kanye, it seems like, definitely believes in some of what he's doing, rather than Joaquin, who is straight putting on a performance. But if you don't think that there's a performance artificial aspect to this, there totally is.
I'm still here.
Check out this article.
I'm still here. Yeah,
I'm still here.
Yeah, I'm still here.
All right.
No, that's good.
All right. Well, I got to go get my kids ready for school, and that's all we got today. If you haven't already, please hit like, hit subscribe, come back next Monday, because we're not going to be here tomorrow because Deacon's in a movie. No, Deacon's in a play. He's going to be doing a play.
So I have to be there. Yeah, I have to be there at 8:00 tomorrow morning.
And I got to take my kids to the doctor. So we'll be back next week. We'll be back on Monday. I'm sure that the next show is going to be even better than this one. And this one was like probably one of the best shows we've ever done. Right?
It was.
Jeremy's linking to QAnon.pub. Dude, I'm not I don't know what that is. I'm not doing that.
Okay.
I want to retain a shred of credibility. If I start signing QAnon stuff, it's gone. All right. All right. That's all. I lost the thing. Bye, everybody. Somebody push the outro button.